Hi, I'm TJ with E-TransControl. I want to talk to you a little bit about our TCM420 for the GM controllers. This control module was built for the GM 4-speed automatic controllers. We've been making GM 4-speed controllers for over almost 15 years now. We started out with our full manual controllers. Our Manumatic is the current version of that. The 420 was developed probably 4 years ago now, maybe 5. It has a high-speed processor, has all the functionality of any aftermarket controller out there on the market, has many features that even some don't have. We include a 2-inch digital display that's full color for setups, monitoring, and full configuration of the controller. So you can actually stop on the side of the road and make adjustments or changes as needed. Everything in our product line is simple, plugs together. For this, there's a single cable, plugs to the controller, and you're set and ready to go. Power is required. We have a pink wire for the positive 12 volt, and we have, of course, the black wire for the negative. And then there's a power wire that will feed power to the transmission here. Our harness is included. We don't sell harnesses separately as some companies do. We include what we call a cut wire harness, which we explained in many of our other videos. Adds simplicity for getting it through the firewall or a floor pan, whatever, when you're cutting a hole. Here you've got a small hole you can cut and put a rubber grommet around it easily, versus if you had the GM 20-pin plug attached to this, you can see the difference in the diameter. It would require a much larger hole to get this and the speed sensor plug through that hole. So therefore we sell this separately. This is a color-coded, color-matched to GM OEM specifications, and also matches our color coding for connecting up the wires. It's easy to do. We provide a heat shrink with this. It's a nice sealant heat shrink when you buy the connector. We also include a 4-foot TPS harness, which is just a cut wire. It would connect to our simple screw terminal on the control module. We have a screw terminal here with inputs for manual shifting, throttle position sensor, and other inputs. This main connector is for, of course, the wire harness going to the transmission. So when you get this all set up and going, you're simply going to plug this in. And then you're going to connect the power wire, which again is a single connector, male and female, so it's keyed. And then you're done. That's all there is to it. Once again, we have a display here, which I'm going to power up the unit now with the power supply. And we should have a boot up screen. It's coming up now. As it's booting up, it's telling you the model number of the control module and what transmissions it's for, and that sort of stuff as well. So always be aware of that. In the settings, there's a setting where you can change this for the 4L60. This controller will work on anything from a Ford T45, which is a front-wheel drive 45 series transmission, 4-speed automatic. The Ford T60 front-wheel drive transmissions, 4T80E front-wheel drive transmissions. It also works on all the rear-wheel drive, the 4L60s, 4L65s, 4L70, and 4L80Es. All can be ran with this controller. There are simple configuration settings that can accommodate any of those transmissions. We give you full walk-through step-by-step settings in our manuals here. Everything's printed in full color, so you don't have to kind of decipher what color wires are or anything when you're doing your wiring. We have here on the latter pages the wire harness. And again, everything's full color. On the back, we show you about speed sensor wiring, input buttons if you want to do manual shifting. The controller is fully automatic, so it will do all 4 gear shifts, split individually with a throttle position sensor input as well to vary that shift point depending on how much throttle you're applying. But you can also do manual shifting with our control modules. And with this GM, we have our rocking box, which I don't have the mount on it, but you can see we've developed this little simple box with a button for engaging torque converter manually and to upshift it or downshift it. It has a mounting bracket that comes with it, the wires here, and this is a 4-foot long cable, and it would go to the set screw terminal block here on the control module. It's in the instructions on which terminals number is applied for each upshift, downshift, torque converter, and that sort of stuff. In the configuration and how it functions is, if you've got a momentary switch, and it can be any momentary switch, it doesn't have to be our rocker box. You can put buttons or switches on your steering wheel, dashboard, wherever you like. And you've got to have one momentary button for upshifting, and one momentary for downshifting, and a momentary for torque converter lock. That's the key functions of the manual shift point and manual input. If you do that and you have this connected, you're driving along and you decide you want to downshift, you downshift it, hit the button once. On the screen it will show manual mode, and it will stay in that mode for a limited time. It has a timer built in. So if you downshift it, it'll go down to the next gear. You're able to take off, drive, whatever you're trying to do, pass somebody, pull up a hill, whatever it may be. Either you can wait, the timer will time out, it'll go back to auto shifting, and it'll show you on the screen when it does that. Or you can continually to manually shift it in that time, up or down shifting, and lock the converter. Any of those functions will function whether it's in manual mode or auto mode. Again, but if you do any of these, it will convert it to manual mode for that time limit and then time out and go back to auto shifting afterwards. Our controller is built to be as simple as possible at a low cost point, but a quality product. We make everything in-house. We support it 100% in-house. There's no outsourcing of phone support and that sort of stuff. You call our numbers, you get us to talk to who are professionals, understand the product, because we manufacture the product ourselves. We test every unit before it goes out, so we're certain that the unit works when it arrives. And if there's issues, you can call us on the phone, and we will actually talk to you on the phone, walk you through setup, wiring, whatever the situation may be, troubleshooting. Even if it's a problem with your transmission itself, we've helped people with that as well to help them to diagnose those issues. So one thing I'd like to mention is there's a lot of competition for us on our GM controllers. Our 420 has any and every feature that any of the competitors out there have. But the key thing is two things. One, like I said, we support it 100%. It's our product manufactured in-house. Two is we're about half the price of some of the other brand names out there. When you look at what they charge you for a wire harness, their controller, and any accessories, you're well over $1,000 for their product, whereas our product, complete what you see here, excluding the connector and the rocker box, $649. If you need the plug, $32. No big deal. Rocker box, $60. So keep this in mind on all your GM 4-speed automatic controls. We also have a 425, which will run the GM4L50 transmission, which is a 5-speed transmission. It was used in some limited applications in Cadillacs and BMWs. And also used in the Saturn Sky and Pontiac Solstice. Those transmissions are probably out there in the junkyard, plenty of them I would imagine, but again, it's a 5-speed transmission, and we have a controller for that one as well, the 425. Similar setup, similar design, but of course configured and built for the 5-speed application. So we appreciate any feedback or calls. We're here to support you, and we appreciate you looking at our product. Thank you.